Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for the final match of the Oceania Sevens. Now, already we know that the Samoans will be making their way to the Olympics in 2024, alongside, of course, New Zealand. But now these two sides get to do battle for one last time before the World Rugby Sevens series starts. Dubai's only a few weeks away, and both of these sides want to start the competition off with a bit of a bang. So Samoa, they are yet to concede a single point throughout their Rugby Sevens tournament here in Brisbane, New Zealand. They aren't quite on that same boat. In fact, they have suffered a defeat. That was to Fiji, but they redeemed themselves in the last contest when they went head-to-head. And now New Zealand looking to pull themselves yet again another victory over the Samoans, although the last time these two sides went head-to-head, it was in fact Samoa in London who were able to get themselves the victory. But for the Samoans, we've seen some brilliant young players stepping up alongside those experienced veterans. It's going to be tricky to predict this game, and normally when these two sides do go head-to-head, the games are only split by less than the 7 points. I don't see this one being split by too much more. Alofipo for Samoa has been tremendous, so I think he will certainly be in the starting lineup. Scanlon, he had a bit of a rough game in the last contest up against Papua New Guinea, having 3 handling errors along the way, but that did not matter. Samoa still booking themselves that spot to the Olympics with a 24-0 win over Papua New Guinea. In the chat we have got there, where can I get the fixtures for the Sevens tournament, says Strongman. The best bet is the Oceania Rugby Facebook page. But in terms of the rest of the information, like, there has been very, very limited ways of working out what is happening in this competition, and that is something that I think they probably needed to work on for this Oceania Sevens, because, yeah, other than the fact that it's on the Facebook page, there's really nowhere that says what the scores were, what the team lineups are. Like, we're actually quite lucky here in New Zealand. We haven't been able to see any of the starting sides up until this match. They actually did just show them briefly. So for New Zealand, it will be Narohi McGarvey-Black, Sam Dixon, Shay Clark, who had a phenomenal game in the last contest, getting himself the hat-trick for that last game. Akulia Rokali-Soa, Scott Curry, Regan Ware, and Cody Vice. So there is unfortunately, no Dylan Collier. That was due to his injury that he did sustain in the game up against Fiji. Samoa, it is Valvasa Afasua, Motu Opitai, Taununa Ulivaia, Palacio Samuela Neula, who was able to score in the last game up against Papua New Guinea. We have got there Paul Scanlon, Va'a Pilomaliko, and Fa'afoi Falaniko, the last man in the starting lineup. I didn't know there was even a tournament until I saw your live, says Strongman JP. Yeah, I'll be honest, they haven't advertised this tournament at all well. And that sounds harsh to say, but other than like the fact that we do constantly look for upcoming games that are taking place, like, there's been hardly any information about these games in New Zealand even. The only broadcasters are Sky and Stan during the lineups when they are normally showing them, or the halftime stats. Sky go to an ad break, so we don't actually get to see any of the players or any of the statistics about them. Let's go Manu Samoa. I think Kiwi Lad says Blues Nate. But so far Samoa, they are yet to concede a try throughout this whole competition. New Zealand, they've scored quite a few, but they have not played Samoa up till this stage. But it is going to be an awesome one. I think Samoa, looking through at their starting lineup, they have gone with a lot more experience than they normally would. Also, Samuela Neula getting to keep his spot in the starting side after the form that he had from that last game up against Papua New Guinea. But this is to take out the Oceania trophy. New Zealand, they did just watch the Australians lift it for the women's side of things final. Now, New Zealand and the women's side of things did not do too well. From South Africa, says Strongman JP. But yeah, it seems weird that they haven't thought of the fact that people outside of New Zealand, Australia, maybe Fiji, would actually want to watch the tournament, which is the case. Like, everyone loves sevens. Well, most people do anyway. So even if some of the games were live streamed on YouTube, or the highlights were on YouTube, anything along those lines would be massive in terms of growing this competition as a whole. The stands are pretty much empty, and that is because no one knew the games were taking place. Boy, advertising just randomly pulled this out of nowhere. Says Blues Nate, it just proves Bill Beaumont has to go. I just would agree. Says Elon, but it is going to be kicked off high by New Zealand. I'm going to send it out wide to the Samoan wingers early on. Motu Opitai is the man who gets the first touch of the day. Now Va'a Pilomaliko, rush defence on him by New Zealand. Gets the offload up to Paul Scanlon now, though. Sam Dixon beating on the inside for pace, but manages to just get a hand to him. They said that it went backwards. So it is going to be play on just for now. Now, Samoa did have more handling errors than they did have before. I believe it was their last game up against PNG, more handling errors than their previous 2 games. So it tells you that maybe that pressure started to get to them, but up against New Zealand, they've played them before. They know what they've got to do to beat them, as they have done it, not just in a final, but also throughout regular pool stages. Now Cody Vai out on the outside, trying to use some of his pace. Does get the offload on the inside. Nicely claimed again. Sam Dixon going off to Rohi McGarvey Black. Akulia Rokalisoa sends it across to Curry. Regan Ware out on this left-hand touch side. 22 metres from the Samoan line, but pressure on the breakdown. They don't get the turnover. Rokalisoa pins the ears backs, running straight sideways at the moment, but he's gone through. Samoa's defence cut open, and the All Black Sevens get themselves their first try of this final. We'll go that. Kiwi lads mentioned it weeks advance, and also I'm a New Zealand supporter in South Africa. Says Strongman JP. So I'm sure if there was a way of watching it, you would want to be able to watch these games. And yeah, if they had a free option somewhere, whether even if it was on the World Rugby website like they have done for the previous legs of the HSBC Sevens, would have been perfect. It looked like Samoa fell asleep. I think they just underestimated the amount of acceleration that Rokalisoa does offer, because he was running sideways and it seemed like Samoa had him roughly covered. Yes, he was starting to get the jump on them, but then just kind of did the tactic you use on like Rugby 08, how you run sideways till you see the gap and then you do the 90-degree turn straight through, score yourself the try. New Zealand, they are sitting 7-0 up now after 2 minutes in this contest. It's kicked off high by New Zealand. That hasn't travelled the 10. So now Samoa with the chance on the halfway line. Pilomaliko takes a quick tap as he wants to keep this game progressing. Now kicks it in behind, looking to win the foot race. He might have taken a little bump from the Kiwis. Now just out from the goal line. Brilliant kick from Apilo Maliko. New Zealand protecting it. Cody Vai getting wrestled down by Apilo Maliko once more. New Zealand only 1 metre out from their try line. They need to make a serious decision here about whether or not they want to try and kick this ball or whether they want to run it out. It looks like they made the wrong choice. Regan Ware drives forward hard. Penalty won by Samoa. And now quick tap. Nauli Vai 1 metre out. Scores the try. The mistake from New Zealand. I wonder whether or not they thought they were a little bit better than they were there. Because when you're 1 metre out from your line, I don't care what sport it is, you got to kick that one away. Since when were there 7 events? Since when was there a Sevens event? I haven't heard anything about it until now, says Baxter. Exactly. I feel like the Oceania Sevens, we talked about it just a little bit earlier on this live stream, how there's been no advertising whatsoever. And yeah, like it would have been a big tournament, I feel, across Oceania if they had shown, or they had some highlights or had something going up around. But I hope you are doing very well, Baxter. I hope the body's feeling all right after cricket yesterday. I have to say my hamstrings are not working today, unfortunately. And get out of there. Says Novmum. Is Samoa's defence amazing now? Well, Samoa have just scored the first try of the match for themselves, and I think it will be the first of many. I should mention New Zealand. They scored the first try up against the Samoan defence that had not budged throughout their first 5 matches of this competition. Let's go, Moa. Says it was there from Defung, now crossing to the right-hand side. I think Paul Scanlon tripped on his own feet there. That is something I do often, but not in a game of rugby. Now out wide, Motu Opitai tries to fend off Naroi McGarvey Black. The ball is loose and Cody Vai cleans it up for the New Zealanders. It's going to be hard in the breakdown. Great bit of work from Nauli Vai once more. Now Vawasafasua goes across to Scanlon. Flick out the back door. Vai Pilomaliko one-on-one with Rokalisoa, and he will not be stopped. The Samoans get themselves another. And New Zealand, now maybe that first try was the wake-up call to go, hang on, this side's a little bit stronger than we gave them credit for. 2 times Samoa found themselves inside of New Zealand's 22, and 2 times they have scored tries. Namoa aren't at the races, says Elon, and also Chau says a Blues Nate. And there as well, they could have played this in Melbourne. If they wanted 2 people to show up, they could have. And I think you would have been one of them, Elon. But one is going to be a great conversion as well. What's your opinion on Beauden Barrett deciding not to retire from international rugby yet and playing further? Says Strongman. I mean, I can understand why. At the end of the day, Beauden Barrett is not quite as old as most people make him out to be. But, like, he's still got time under his belt. He's still got I'd say 2 or 3 years left at least. Yes, he's been a little bit out of form at times, but he was still pretty much the first choice fullback for New Zealand for a majority of the Rugby World Cup. New Zealand, another mistake. They decided to allow that ball to bounce, and it looks like Sam Dixon might have injured himself. Another penalty goes to Samoa. They have got the dagger, and they are sticking it in the New Zealanders' chests at the moment. Third try of the first half. Samoa on fire in Brisbane. But once again, New Zealand, easy mistake to avoid. They allowed that ball to bounce inside of the 10 metres. It rolled forward, which then meant play on. New Zealand sat there looking at it, and Samoa attacked. They got the ball. They got the penalty only 10 metres out from New Zealand's line, and Nu'ulevaia finishes the job off, getting himself another try. Oh, dearie me, says J.A. So come on, New Zealand. I'm pretty happy. Maybe one more World Cup, says Strongman. Let's go, Kiwi lads, in the 685, says Oos Edison, try, says Blues Nate. In New Zealand, to say that they look lackluster, it's probably an understatement at this point. And Hamish says Oos Edits, that is my name, yes. It's 19 points to 7. We will go like this. I gave them a few too many points for the Samoans. New Zealand this time claiming it. They need to score before the end of the first half. They've got 20 seconds to work. Bodie would be nice for a few bleds. Then if he's serious, another World Cup. And he gets time at 10 and form as D-Max. Cover, says Elon. The ball available again for Samoa. Stolen in the breakdown. They'll kick it into touch. What a first half from Samoa. That is perhaps the best half of rugby we have ever seen the Samoans play up against New Zealand. At least in recent times, with this current group of players, we have never seen such a dominant performance from Samoa. And up the South Africans, says Oos Edits there. Yeah, fantastic first half. Multiple tries being scored. And New Zealand have got a mountain to climb for their second 7 minutes of this one. But Paul Scanlon, he has looked a lot stronger in this game than he did up against Papua New Guinea. And Shush says Blues note to Elon. Some deep breaths being taken. Brian Lima, even though they are winning by 12 points, is not smiling. He knows that the job is not yet done. They need to put the dagger in, like I mentioned, and try and really ramp it up in this second 7 minutes. Hi, says Ryan. Welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing extremely well. New Zealand, just trying to work out what went wrong in that first half. And I have to say, it just looked like they were half asleep. They were allowing that ball to just bounce around in front of them for Samoa to be able to attack it, and also not kicking that ball away from 1 metre out from their own line, putting themselves under pressure, giving away the penalty, and then Samoa making the most of that opportunity. Well, good there, you shut up, says Oos. And also lol, says Jay. I feel like, Jay, deep down you feel like you may have started this, so you're like, yes, I've got what I wanted. 12 points difference between the two sides. Sam Dixon trying to give a bit of a team cheer here. Akulia Rokali. So the first try we saw was New Zealand, but you wouldn't think it. Looking at the scoreboard, can they fight back? It's only 2 tries down is the big thing. But Samoa, if they continue this momentum, they will certainly be able to get themselves a bit more. I started nothing lower, says Jay. It's hilarious that 2019-2023 Box think they're the best team ever. The World Cup says so. But both lost games at the World Cups and show terrible inconsistencies in between tournaments. Our all-time best team, says Elon. But the thing is, when you look at that World Cup and you look at the names, it says South Africa twice. So, you know, it doesn't, like, I know it matters what you do in between, but at the end of the day, to lift that World Cup is something that is prestigious and something that not many teams get the chance to do. And it's a double knock-on, I believe, here. In fact, it's going to be a penalty for New Zealand for an offside. Milo Harris gets across to Akulia Rokali Soa. Big firing pass out to this near side with Narohi McGarvey Blake. Some nice phase play here from New Zealand, or just some nice passing throughout their side. Here comes the big man, Shay Clark. He has put on some good size since last year, I do have to say. Now back across Narohi McGarvey Black. Just waiting for some time, looking for some options to pass to. Curry goes to Akulia Rokaliso, and not many gaps opening up. He's just tried to create one. Gets the offload away up the middle. It was Curry. Another offload to Milo Harris. Now Roy McGarvey-Black gets it out wide to Cody Vai, who's a 3-on-1, but he doesn't care. He's gone into touch though. And it will be the line out for Samoa. Who's your 2027 World Cup winners? I mean, it's hard not to say that the Springboks will be right up there. Of course, the New Zealanders, they will have a whole new looking side to what they had this year. I'm sure Northern Hemisphere teams will still look relatively strong at that stage, whether that's Ireland or France, trying to push their way forward. This is awesome. Rokali Soa and Winners says it was there from Elon. I meant Blues Nate. And also we get there Blues Nate. And also 3D Samoa tackle and Moose. That's not straight from Samoa. There's disappointment there on the face of the players. It was a free kick now for New Zealand, and they are 9 minutes in. Can they get this one right? It looks like they will be going to scrum time. Is that a player being subbed, or is he just going near side? I think there might have almost been a player being taken off the field. So they have actually already got rid of Shea Clark. Not too sure what's happened to him. I hope that's nothing too serious in terms of injury. Of course, Dubai just around the corner for all these players. They want to be able to make a real impact on that circuit before the Olympics. And now New Zealand go to the short side, and it will be Milo Harris who does get the try for the Kiwis. They are back into the contest. How many minutes? Hamish says Us edits at the moment. We are 9 minutes through in this contest. It's going to make the score 12 points to 19. The kick is still to come. Is he going to get it over? Or does he miss out? They are still showing Shea Clark. So I feel like there must be an injury or something along those lines for him. But nice bit of work from Milo Harris down this near side. Currently 12 points to 9. This kick could be absolutely crucial here for New Zealand's chances of being able to come back and win this contest. Milo Harris, I think he's only been on the field for about 5 minutes. And I've realised I've been saying Milo Harris rather than Tapaya Cook Savage. So I do apologise for that. Did actually miss that kick though. We have got there, that's right. Samoa hit back, sits back down, girls. Says Elon. Now another change being made. Tim Mickelson, the experienced veteran. He will not be going on the field for Tapaya Cook Savage. He is going on the field for Sam Dixon here. Just trying to think who Milo Harris is in terms of which one I was referring to, because none of them play sevens. Now Kulia Rokali Soa to throw this ball in, nicely claimed by Scott Curry. Now going to once again to play a Cook Savage. Now Rohi McGarvey-Black slings it off to Curry on this near side. Has Mickelson with him, who does decide to fire it back across to Rohi McGarvey-Black. The bounce pass could almost have been fought, but it will be play on just for now. Another pass there from New Zealand. All these passes behind the player. So it's making it tricky to be able to get that forward momentum. Roy McGarvey-Black, they're 22 metres out from their line. New Zealand know that they have to go back to go forward here. And that is what they will continue to do, putting together some phases. Roy McGarvey-Black once again has to retreat. Almost went through a gap. Brilliant tackle from Vavasa Afasua, but he does not get the turnover, but boy was he close. Now will be to player Cook Savage. Sells two dummies. Going himself with the show and go. Got a little bit of acceleration. Scanlon's going to get him though. And doesn't get the offload until afterwards. Curry has to clean up. There is the man back there to cover. Rokali Soa. The free pass on the inside. And New Zealand will score now between the posts. That will make the score 19 points to 19 now. With only, I believe, 2 minutes to go. Now, kick has, I would assume, gone over as it is straight out in front of the sticks, unless something goes drastically wrong for New Zealand there. I believe it will be going over. Femi scoring the try though. Good pace shown from Cook Savage. And just a good inside ball from Akulia Rokali Soa to set him up for, and Whoop Whoop says Te Oriwa. Now I should mention, if this is a draw, I don't believe they share the cup. I think they go to golden point time to determine the winner. So there's still a lot on the line for this last 2 minutes, and it looks like Vavasa Afasua as well as Motu Opitai are the two players for Samoa who have made their way from the field. They've still got the option of Paul Iti Slater, who I believe has now made his way on there. Samoa allow the ball to bounce. That is a mistake New Zealand made in the first half. And Samoa almost just made the same one. Pilomaleko gets the offload away. Now only 20 metres out from their own line here. Samoa ball stolen by Mickelson, but the penalty goes against them for no clear release. Are you going to post the Fiji game? Says Dwarf Gaming. Sadly, we can't actually put any highlights up on YouTube because of licensing, but I'm sure that someone eventually will put up the game for Fiji and Papua New Guinea, although we did actually cover that game on the channel with our commentary, so if you do want to check that out, be sure to give it a look. Nice bit of work. Sky Sport New Zealand, I think, would have one of the games. I don't know whether they'd have Fiji, though, unfortunately, on their YouTube channel. Samoa with the line out, okay, thanks. Says Dwarf Gaming, no worries at all. Paul Scanlon now, 40 metres from his own try line. And this is probably the last chance for both of these sides to be able to score. That's gone over the top. Loose ball. Cleaned up there. Knock on, in fact, from Samoa. Giving New Zealand the last opportunity to be able to score in this contest. Now, my prediction in my preview was 19 points to 17 in favour of New Zealand. Now, we aren't quite sitting there. We are sitting 19 points to 19, which just shows how crucial kicks can be. New Zealand missing one. Samoa also missing the one in this contest. Now the scrum for New Zealand. Samoa not out of this game as of yet. They can still actually manage to find themselves the ball at some stage in the breakdown. Ball is fed in though. Kolia Rokalisoa going to the right hand side. That's a huge hit there. But it looks like it is going to be play on to player Cook Savage. Fires it across to Mickelson. Pressure on him on the halfway line. Tries to get back up to his feet. And there's a knock on. We're just after the full-time siren. What does that mean? We've got 2 minutes and then it's golden point time. Ladies and gentlemen, it can't get much closer than this. What are you watching on? I am watching on Sky Sport 2 here in New Zealand. Go Samoa, says Panina there. And also we're there, yes, says Reshin. So we are going to golden point, ladies and gentlemen, for this matchup. You wouldn't expect anything less from these two sides. They know how to make a game close. They know how to get you on the edge of your seat. And I am doing just that. In fact, I would probably be closer to the edge of my seat if both of my hamstrings weren't completely destroyed from yesterday. Love it. Says Tiowiura and Maleka to score the winning try in extra time, says Johnny Cash. And Samoa actually have a few times that they have gone to golden point time. The most recent time I can think of, I think, was up against Argentina. Now, I could be wrong there. But in that game, if it was the most recent, we did actually see Argentina manage to get themselves the victory over Samoa. But now, Brian Lemmy's got to tell his side, this is about concentration. You've worked this hard throughout the first 14 minutes. We're on it from an even playing field. So let's not concede those first points like you did at the start of the game. But it would be 5 minutes of extra time that they are allowed. Good luck, Usos, says Blues Nate. And there as well, but they are going to golden point time. The Oceania Sevens crowd in Brisbane are getting their money's worth for the closing fixture. Wish the best, says Oos Edits in there as well. So to explain golden point for anyone who is curious, it doesn't matter whether you score a try, whether you get a penalty, whether you get a drop kick over. Whoever gets the first point from here on out will win. And it looks like Samoa are going to be kicking off. I believe they would have won the toss, and they decided that they want to kick it deep into New Zealand's territory, as that is actually where they found a majority of their tries, when New Zealand have made a mistake just out from their own try line, and then Samoa have been able to jump on that opportunity. And now Paul Scanlon about to get us underway for golden point time, I should say. And Scanlon now, next try or next point wins in the Oceania Sevens final, claimed nicely by Cody Vi, the youngster, though straight in there. Samoa already have the turnover. Scanlon out wide to Va'apilo Maleko. One-on-one defence needs to be clinical here from the Kiwis. The ball's ripped out the back But the Samoans have still got possession. Numbers on the outside. If they can get their pass away, deciding to hang on to it for a little bit longer. 25 metres from the line. The ball's come free. Mickelson, the veteran for New Zealand, takes it to ground, although that is where Samoa have been so dangerous throughout this game. Oh, it's a knock on from New Zealand, dropped cold by the recent try scorer, and the scrum now for Samoa. Last try win, says Blues Nate. Pretty much last try, last penalty, last drop kick, any of those. Maybe there should be, or should have been more advertising so people could watch close games like this. Very true. I feel like they've really missed the boat in terms of promoting this competition, and that is the reason why not many people are watching the games on live. That is the reason why we aren't seeing too many people at the stadiums, although there is still quite a Samoa contingency watching on for this contest. But now the chance for Samoa. Currently 15 minutes through this contest and golden point time. We got the time off. And let's support the Samoan Sevens instead of the useless Atoa Samoa. Says whatever, and also the drop kick, says Reshin. There could be a drop kick on the cards if they want it. But their big question mark is, do they want it? Or do they want to go for that try? I think that Samoa, tactically after the scrum, they will go for the try rather than looking to get that penalty or the drop kick. The whole penalty advantage would be massive for them. Now Va'apilo Maleko on this near side of the field, wrestled down by the New Zealand defence. Poiti Slater as the first receiver slings it across to BJ Lima. So many star players in the Samoan backline, but Mickelson almost got the turnover. There's another knock-on advantage. It's a sling and pass out wide. Another chance for Samoa on the halfway line. Gets it out to Va'apilo Maleko. One-on-one defence on him is solid. Trying to push him towards the touchline. And New Zealand over the ball. That was close to a penalty. I heard frustration on the sideline from, I think it was a New Zealand coach, but now passed on the inside to BJ Lima. Moves to 25 metres out. He's knocked it on. New Zealand, they've got the line break, but it doesn't look like they've quite got the legs. The bounce pass to Tim Mickelson again. We are 16 minutes in. New Zealand running backwards as they look to get their backline set. Kulia Rokalisoa will play half. They have been told to use it. Going to this left-hand side. Another attacking run and another Samoan almost turnover in the breakdown, but not able to get it. Curry now slinging it off to this right-hand side. Tim Mickelson. He's been in these scenarios multiple times, although he's been tackled easy enough there. Samoa get the turnover penalty again. Oh, they're trying to ask for the yellow card, but the reason the ball bounced out was because the Samoan player pushed the Kiwi. But now they've taken the quick tap. 25 metres out. Lalomelo. New Zealand is not able to get that turnover. Va'apilo Maleko went for the kick. Mistake was made. And New Zealand now get the ball back. Another bit of work in the breakdown. They've just been too strong, but he's lost his footing. Kulia Rokalisoa straight through the man. Has lightning in his boots and he will not be stopped. And New Zealand in 17 minutes will take out the Oceania Sevens competition with a bang. Whew. Well, I'm a bit excited for Dubai. I think it's fair to say now New Zealand winning this game, though, 24 points to 19. The exact score of the London Sevens match between Samoa and New Zealand, although the score has been flipped. And that one, it was Samoa walking away with the victory. In this contest, it is New Zealand. Game set match, says Vic. And then Samoa deserves it. Come on from Fiji and says F. Will and oh dear. And also, they're a young bunch. Been trained well by Brian Lima. Most local boys do, says F. Will. And yeah, there's nothing to be ashamed of for the Samoan side in this contest. They played their absolute hearts out and they've shown once again why they are such a dangerous side on the Sevens circuit. Not just for that Sevens circuit though, but also now for the Olympics, which they recently did qualify for. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Little bit of a blood pressure raising, heart rate elevating game between these two teams to close out the Oceania Sevens competition. But I do thank you all extremely a lot. I don't think that was a sentence, but my brain stopped working and gave New Zealand a run for a day. Now good to Samoa, well-deserved silver. Says Elon and cheers for the stream, mate. Take care, mate. Says Jay Hayes, you too, mate. And also ref won it. Says Restian, I mean, he didn't know, did he? Like, when you look at the penalty count, I believe New Zealand were penalised, I think it was 5 times compared to Samoa's 3. Now, I could be wrong in that statement, but I think in this case, Samoa, unfortunately, just making a couple mistakes. If Pilo Maliko didn't go for that kick in behind and instead just ran that ball, that could have been the try for Samoa. There's little moments in this game that determine this game more than refereeing. But, like I said, credit to Samoa, credit to New Zealand for the way that both of these sides fought throughout that full 17 minutes to try and walk away with the victory. Far out, thanks so much to Te Aoriwa. And also sad for them. And they'll be the best, or they will be the team to beat in the 7th series this year, says F. Will. And I'll be honest, I actually believe you. I believe from the last 2 years that we've seen Samoa, like the fact that they don't even have the likes of Tuitama in this lineup, I think he will be back stronger than ever when he gets the chance. A few other players missing from the Samoan squad. And they've still got a lot left in the tank, that is for sure. And BS ref again, done with the sport, says Chris here. So what decision did you not like? Out of curiosity, Chris, because I've noticed this is a trend, which is if a side loses in a close game, people just blame the ref without actually giving examples of what penalties they felt shouldn't have gone against or should have gone against certain teams. Because, yeah, like if you have examples, I'm all for it. But in this case, I honestly feel like Samoa, second half, they just didn't do enough. They allowed New Zealand to get those 2 extra tries, which got them back into the contest. We've got to remember, Samoa were up 19 points to 7, I believe it was, at half-time. I mean, I've got there the TMO. The TMO wasn't involved, though, was he? And Wayne Barnes retired because he's scared, says Elon. And also, Chris the Sport is done with you, says whatever. And the chat as well. But 24 points to 19 in this contest. New Zealand, the victors in the end. And what was an electric way to close out the Sevens competition. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you are new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I should update my scoreboard, shouldn't I? I got too excited in the heat of battle. We'll go like that. And we will go like that as well. And Samoa had the ball won in that ruck, says Criseo. Although we did see one earlier on as well that New Zealand looked like they should have got the penalty. They didn't receive it. So in a way that would balance out, I would say. Would you not? One each way. Both sides didn't get it. So in the end, even playing field, both sides just messed up. I know they effed that ruck up, mate. Says Elon in there as well. But yeah, like I said, there was one about a minute before that New Zealand, I thought all but certain to get that turnover. Regan Ware, New Zealand skipper. I think he's in charge of the team. Anyway, we've had quite a few New Zealand captains over the last little while in terms of who is actually in charge, the top dog. They don't have the co-captaincy like we see for the Samoans, whether that's Valvasa Afasua, Paul Eti Slater, or Paul Scanlon. I think Henry Hutchison, the man interviewing, he has had himself a bit of an injury for a long time, but he's hoping to be back relatively soon, maybe in Cape Town is when we do see Henry Hutchison back in action once more. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all for the next one.